seeing what we're seeing here. We talked to Robin, they're having record business every day. That's terrific. It seems like every time I come by Sergio's are full. I know the new setup in Nevada City has turned out well for Friar Tuck's. Every night I've been there, it's been packed. But we know what happens in 60 days, right? In 60 days we can't be out here because this all changes. So we're working for a long-term solution to get us back inside because we're not Los Angeles County, we're not San Diego County, we're not San Francisco, we're Nevada County. And it's just not acceptable that we're being treated like those others. And the most immediate problem is we have a board vote on Tuesday at 9 a.m. and I hope you can all show up for that. We have a board vote on Tuesday at 9 a.m. down at the Root Center where our elected officials aren't even allowing us to petition them in person. It's very un-American. It's very anti-democratic.
Can you speak up?
Speak up.
I know it's
No,
hard.
I'm sorry.
I know it's hard. Thank you.
I don't want to interfere with people's dinner.
Gotcha.
But our elected officials are not even allowing us to petition them in person as citizens of the United States of America, and it's outrageous. So we need to be emailing them. We have information on how to contact our supervisors for the Tuesday vote. We encourage you to do that. I'm going to give everybody my phone number and email address before we leave, and we'll forward you whatever it is you need in order to write them if you haven't already done it. I know a lot of you are on different social media posts and a lot of different sites. There's a lot of them out there, and it's great. It's organic, it's real, it's citizens taking their country and county back. But I'll leave mine in case you do need suggested talking points, or you do need email addresses to email, or you do need the address of where this is taking place. So Tuesday at 9 a.m., we're going to be there a little earlier than that to petition our government to have the meeting in person, number one. Number two, to take this ordinance that they're considering, this cruel and unnecessary ordinance that would fine $10,000 per penalty on the citizen, individual, or business that's quote-unquote violating the law. It's outrageous. It's outrageous. You're being treated like the enemy and not as citizens, and it needs to stop. So please consider being there on Tuesday. Please consider writing and petitioning your government via email or we can't do it in person. We can't even do it over Zoom. It's unbelievable. But at least write them and then show up that day and be heard as well. So that's Tuesday, 9 a.m. Does everyone know where the county building is? Right down in Nevada City. Easy to find. And I think it'd be great to have you all there because this measure, once passed, doesn't have a sunset provision. You know what that means? They get a basically have this as the force of law for as long as this crisis, quote unquote, continues. Well, we know that's going to be a long time. It's very subjective. It's not a drop-dead date. It's just more power going into the hands of government to hold power over us, and that's awful. That's an awful place to be. So we need you to be at the Root Center at 9 o'clock on Tuesday and connect with them in the meantime. Demand that they start meeting in person, that they start putting their meetings open to the public, and to meet with us individually. They aren't meeting with the citizenry. They're not meeting with the businesses that have asked them to meet with them. That's outrageous. We need to change that. So continue to patronize these places, please. Continue to eat out as much as you can afford. I haven't eaten out as much in 2 months as I have in my life, or I've eaten more in 2 months out than I have in the rest of my life. My wife is actually coming home for the first time in 5 months this week, so I'm going to be bringing her by to say hello and eat and partake in our community. Can't wait for that. Thursday night, Thursday through Sunday. So we're going to be out every night. Hope to see a lot of you out. A lot of people don't think she actually exists, but she really does. So with that being said, are there any questions or anybody else want to say anything or have a comment on? This is all of our efforts. Yes, ma'am.
So is this being implemented in other counties as well across the country, or they started in California?
I can't speak to other countries, other states. Oh, thank you. Need to have that.
No, I'll pay for
I can't speak to other states because right now my bandwidth is all about Nevada County. I can say around other parts of the state it is being implemented.
You can't say whether it
Other
is or
parts of the state, it is being implemented. There are some parts of the state where if you walk down the street without a mask on, they'll slap you with a $500 ticket.
My friend got one.
That's insane.
that is
They aren't doing that here yet. We need to make sure they don't do that.
Now, I think the sheriffs are not on the same page as the board of supervisors. Is that what I heard?
I had a meeting with the county council on Friday, a 2-hour meeting with them, and it was very, very forthright. It was very, we were speaking. What's that?
With the police force?
No, with the county council. It's like the county supervisors and the county of Nevada's lead lawyer, legal counsel. And I told them that we appreciate the fact they aren't doing that. But I also told them that law enforcement won't do that. We know that. We know the sheriff's department doesn't want to do it. We know the Grass Valley Police Department doesn't want to do it. The Nevada City Police Department doesn't want to be ticketing for people. I will not walk down the street with a mask on. I will not do it. I'm a healthy person. I don't need a mask. If people choose to go into a business and do it or walk down the street with it, God bless them. But I will not. So if I'm ticketed for that, that's insane. So it's not there yet, but if this passes, it very well could be. Because if you read this, Bob, is your understanding that if this ordinance passes, there is the possibility that a citizen walking down the street could be ticketed for not, if this ordinance passes, is your reading of it, somebody walking down the street without a mask could conceivably be ticketed, couldn't they? Down at the street?
No, they took down the individual. They took out the $500.
If they walk into a business.
You go into a business that requires a mask, and you don't wear a mask, the business could be fined if they don't enforce the mask rules on you. It's all on the business.
The police
What about the health condition clause? Is that still, like if you say I have a health condition,
It has no mention of that.
is that still, because as of now,
You're right.
that's
Legally, they should be able to say, okay, and they can't ask for it. They can't ask you to show it to
I mean,
them.
I've never worn one, and I have health conditions, so
You should get that card, at least.
the card is great, but it's not.
Yeah.
They can't really.
You could get the Ron Swanson card where you pull out the piece of paper that says, I'm an American. That's my right.
No, you know what you do? You get a concealed carry, and then you can't wear a mask. It's a felony to wear a mask when you got a gun on you.
There you go.
I like how you think.
That's a good one.
If you're carrying a gun, you can't wear a mask. So all of this.
Elena?
Yeah, man.
Someone take out mask between bites.
No, you don't have to wear a mask while you're eating. You don't have to wear the mask while you're eating.
Right,
But if you're walking in or something, maybe.
But if somebody took a bite of food and they're chewing it without the mask, technically they might enforce fine on us. Well, this is how I read it. And it can happen like in the next 3 minutes.
The problem is it's so subjective, right? Thank you for your clarity.
And as soon as the health officer says, I'm ordering this, it's all of a sudden part of the law of the county. All they have to do is declare this is now a new order, and it automatically becomes law.
You mean if this ordinance passes?
Yeah, with the ordinance, that's right.
So they're being more, they're going the way of more liberal than even our own governor at this point, because our schools could totally be open at this point. We're one of the blessed 20% that's not shut, and they're choosing to distance learn. And then when we asked her about it, she said we can't go more. We can be more strict if we want to. We can't be less strict. But so they're taking it to a complete power
This is
trip.
because 2/3 of the teachers are presenting themselves scared to death.
Sorry.
He's hungry.
I just wanted to be clear on that point. It's like, you're right, they changed that one point.
Yeah, I'm a teacher, so I
So I have a question about the teenagers who were harassing the Sergios and maybe are suspected of doing the vandalism. Somebody told me that one of them was a child of one of the county supervisors. Is that true? Does
I
anybody
haven't
know
heard that. I don't know. I know it's being investigated. I'm assuming there are cameras in the vicinity.
Oh yeah, it should have seen everything. I heard they were looking at the cameras right now, but we're not getting any news about it.
Well, greeted my daughter when she went to work that day.
The good thing is, like, all of us patriots are making a difference because you can see the enemies, like Eric is getting like so much attack on his own person, and none of it's true, and they're ad hominem attacking him because he's boldly out there standing for freedom and for rights. And so it's kind of like they don't have much else to do, so now they're starting to ad hominem, which is, it's horrible for him, but it shows a good sign of that we're making a difference because we're getting under their skin, or they wouldn't be attacking. And you're just a public figure at this point, like, because you're always, but it's horrible, and I feel bad. Because it's
there's a little more to that though. They're attacking him because they can. See, and you have, and I'll be real bold and blunt about this when it comes to Black Lives Matter and stuff. I seen a commercial the other day on TV about Black Lives Matter, and it had these kids that were playing, these black kids were playing and stuff. And this isn't racist by any means.
Yeah.
But at the bottom of this, the quote said, "We feel like America left us behind." And you know what? Nobody left anybody behind. And it's nobody else's responsibility to pick these people up and carry them. It was their responsibility, but you guys have to carry the burden today, according to them. When you have the media that backs this up and puts this on the TV, when you politicize every sport in the nation and stuff to legitimize this stuff, it's crap. You people need to vote. And you need to stand up and be just a little bit louder about what you really think. Because most conservatives are quiet, and they know this, you know. So, you know what? I'm sure this gentleman can defend himself, and I'm sure he will if he has to.
Well, what we need to understand is that right now people are ruling us instead of governing us.
Correct.
We as citizens of this country need to understand that that's backwards.
Yes.
We are their rulers, and we are the ones who put them into place. So whatever the issue, and I certainly have my opinions on that. Right now, we have on Tuesday a group of elected officials who will not allow us to petition them in person, and we need to let them know that is unacceptable.
Yes.
And then we also do need to petition them specifically to the ordinance itself. The ordinance itself is cruel, unnecessary, and it's punishment because certain businesses have dared to attempt to stay in business because otherwise they will go out of business. They're not the enemy, they're your citizenry. So we need to make sure, as this gentleman said, that they hear our voices. I just happen to be one who does this stuff for a living, so I'm able to do it. But all of you need to do it, no matter your sex or size or age, because it makes a difference.
Yes.
And they will attack you, they will come after you, and it does get pretty ugly. But be strong and know that you're right, and pray for those people because they need it. I mean, they've got some black hearts, and they have a hole in them that needs to be filled. So we need to just deal with that and focus on our target. Focus on target. There's a saying in the military that if you're getting flak, you're over target. We're over target right now. That's why we're getting flak. So we're going to continue to do that.